trans woman walking down the street. What I think they're afraid of is transgenderism, trans ideology coming after their children, a fear you've reflected by providing me this hypothetical of parents grooming their children into believing they're actually trans over years of medical analysis, you know?
If we're so afraid of transgenderism, why are we laughing at it? I mean, you typically don't laugh at things that you're afraid of. Typically, you're afraid of that stuff. I mean, unless you make that willful decision to just like, hey, I'm gonna laugh at this even though I'm afraid of it. We're laughing. I mean, you've seen the video of the It's Ma'am guy, right?
What does this have to do with what I'm talking about?
Because it's so damn funny, Bosh.
I'm laughing right now because that point we made was just so bad. Hold on, I'm gonna debunk it. You know, and spamming laughter emojis and saying LOL. I'm not insecure about anything right now. What are you looking at? yeah, we're both trying to laugh this off right now, you know. But you don't have any reason to be laughing because it's so wrong. you big wrong.
Actually laughing at somebody's point because it's actually stupid, you don't really need to convince them that you're laughing at their point, okay? You can't control your laughter if it's genuinely funny, right? I know that we don't see each other behind the screens, but I don't know if you were really feeling that many laugh emojis, or if you're just trying to like decorate a bunch of that on the sides of your sentence. I mean, it's a pretty sentence, you know. Who the fuck is typing ha 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 on their keyboard with their right index finger and left pinky? Like that's no, like, are you looking at your keyboard to do that? Are you doing it without thinking? Oh yeah, you came to this debate armed and ready. You are ready for all the insults in the world. You're ready to be called all types of horrible things. Can't help but wonder if you're actually some of those horrible things.
Don't call me a racist. Think I haven't been called worse before? You think I'm afraid of being called a homophobic misogynist? I know how you work, woke moralist.
I mean, shouldn't you be? Should you not be a little bit scared of being called something that you're not? I feel like that's actually a great sign that you are a little more innocent. There's like a certain kind of context needed for fear to be an understandable reaction to something. And the same goes for aggression. And both of those things, they have a little more that is needed for it to be an understandable reaction, and a little more for it to be an obvious reaction, and then beyond obvious is just an open field, shit that could possibly be happening to you, for it to be a necessary reaction. If it's a necessary reaction, you're in danger or some shit. Insults in a debate, that should invoke one of those two feelings, just like, I don't know, a little bit. It should be understandable. It should be like, yeah, wow, you have sympathy and empathy. Oh, and your sad little eyes are saying hello. I'm trying to be understood and not immediately slandered as something that I'm genuinely not trying to be. But if you are trying to be something like that, then you're probably focused on inane rabbit holes and detours get you veered off of the topic. Plenty of LGBTQIA plus people could be in a dispute with one of the other letters of the alphabet inside of that movement, and somewhere along the line, a lesbian or gay man could get accused of being potentially transphobic. And see how a lot of them would normally react to that. Are they in denial? Like, no, I couldn't possibly be that. I'm within this community. I couldn't be something like that. No, because they actually cannot fathom themselves being like that and are trying to indicate whether or not that's true so they can do better? Or, you know, does it at the very least invoke some sense of empathy, like, oh no, I'm not trying to be misunderstood like that. Let me please further elaborate myself. And if you ask questions and, you know, ask all the right questions, then that's usually a situation that can get patched up pretty quickly. Now, call a Republican transphobic. Anything in the year 2022 besides yep is a fucking lie, a conscious one at that. They won't really be in denial about much at all. They'd be saying some shit like, no, well, I mean, phobic, as if that's a community that, you know, even needs to be acknowledged. It's a mental illness. That's as far into denial as they'll go about being transphobic, because they know that they are transphobic. They just are probably white. Any kind of ist or phobic is like, oh, that's just a history book movie that ended before I was born, so I am immune to being called any of those things. You're definitely not gonna get any remorse out of them. I mean, that we know for damn sure. But for some reason, they won't even get mad at you continuing to think that they are some kind of ist or phobic. Funny that. Probably because they are that thing. If anybody is a bigot, they are never going to identify as bigoted. No shit. If you've been thinking that that's how bigots work, and you're a fucking idiot, or you're a bigot that is lying openly every day. You know how many people would have to be dead and obvious crimes would have to happen on a systemic level for any bigot to ever tell you the truth of them being openly bigoted? Horrible things would have to happen. Yeah, they're not in that kind of environment, so don't even bother saying I'm not racist, but really, you were gonna tell me that, right? For real? Yeah, you were gonna throw me in the loop on that. That person that you already are trying to delegitimize in every way, shape, and form to the general public. Right. Yeah. Hey, everybody, I guess racism is over because everybody just stopped identifying as racist people. So, yeah, man. No insult or accusation is gonna piss them off more than asking questions which, if they answer truthfully, they cannot defend the answers to. That's when they will drop all of the free speech warrior, I'm being canceled bullshit, and turn it all around on you and become offended and triggered all of a sudden, not even respond to certain talking points that you have. How can you go each election knowing that either you're going to win or everyone cheated? You don't know the future. You are not psychic. You do not know how every election is going to go. You cannot just spend all year saying this thing is going to be rigged. So when I tell you that it's rigged tomorrow, anybody brings any kind of evidence that it wasn't rigged, they're lying to you. They already have it prepared. And we haven't been prepping you for saying that it's rigged immediately when you don't win in order to preserve your reputation as like the calm and rational ones that are trying to defend yourselves against the triggered woke left. You'll pivot away from the conversation entirely. You'll be willfully ignorant about what certain logical fallacies are, so you can use them. If you don't know what you're doing, then it's not a logical fallacy anymore. If we all just forget what they are, it's totally okay. What's a loaded question? It's more of this woke communist authoritarian fascism. People who have been told many times over by this point, do you even know what the meaning of this word is? Have you looked this word up in the dictionary? No, not Googled it and saw the first thing that shows up on Google and says, okay, well, is this? Because, Google is the only dictionary now. No, what is it registered as in a thesaurus, in an encyclopedia, in a dictionary, not what is Google's first response historically to certain words. If it's not a dictionary definition that shows up, you first Google it, you can just scroll down. That's it. You can just scroll down. And what do you know? Worst case scenario, you go back to the search bar and you type in definition next to the word. And then you'll have a place to go with an actual definition. Willfully dismissing that shit that doesn't make you any less ignorant. That does not make you any more informed about what you're talking about. It does not make you any less not guilty of being a certain type of thing or doing something that is a specific type of action. That's not how words work. The more questions that people have to answer, the more they feel cornered. Unless I have a fucking badge, you shouldn't feel cornered by people asking questions that identify what you believe you're saying. What are you actually trying to tell people? I don't even know. Furthermore, why do you have to be so correct in the moment?
Liberals are taking things too far, okay? All we're trying to do was a simple coup. We just wanted a simple insurrection to say, you get triggered, but my opinions are facts.
Either we win, or you cheated. How to say that we're a threat to democracy. I thought this is America.
You're out of order.